I'm Dr. Bobby Huynh, and this is a big LGBTQ story today. Let's queer up healthcare. New report, LGBTQ people are twice as likely to vape compared to straight people. A new Surgeon General report reveals that LGBTQ individuals are twice as likely to vape compared to their heterosexual peers, citing stress and targeted tobacco marketing as primary drivers. The 837-page report highlights that over 37% of lesbian, gay, and bisexual adults have used e-cigarettes, with bisexual adults being the most affected. In contrast, only 16.5% of heterosexual adults reported vaping. Smoking trends are also alarming, with 16.3% of LGBT adults smoking cigarettes compared to 12.5% of straight adults. Youth data shows similar disparities as 10.4% of LGBT teens regularly smoke, nearly double the 5.3% of heterosexual teens. The report attributes these statistics to tobacco industry's deliberate targeting of queer people, including ads in LGBTQ-focused publication and publicized donations to HIV/AIDS organization. Disclosure. But look, I think the concern for vaping, personal opinion stated here, is that, and I still think that smoking is leagues worse than vaping, due to the fact that, smoking has proven to cause many ailments, including cancer, that you cannot prove yet through vaping. Now, there are...
I don't know about that. There's been many lungs that have collapsed from vaping. Many.
There have been, but a lot, in the early days of vaping, a lot of those liquids and rigs are jury rigged to... It's actually homemade stuff. I went through that phase too. I was there in the very early stages on when everyone has their own homemade kit. You can solder your battery and your stuff together. You can make the stuff at home.
Serious. I don't know anyone who's
these days the process is now a lot more industrialized, thanks to the fact that quite a few tobacco companies have invested in vaping. I'm concerned about youth vaping because but on the other hand, adults who know what they're doing, vaping is a very important step to get them off actual cigarettes. So consider, balancing.
We're not gonna agree on this.
Well, he's shaking his head, but he is a public health guy, so I know he will.
I have two words: oral fixation.
We have to wear gay man.
Yeah.
I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to get into what's healthier. I don't think either is very healthy. I'm not right. The only thing I found a little shocking with this report was the idea that there's a lot of tobacco ads in LGBTQ-focused publications. Because I just personally don't see that.
I don't see them.
Yeah.
I'm used to donations from alcohol or companies to LGBTQ groups. I've seen that, but I also couldn't think of that with tobacco. I can't think of specific.
Alcohol use among the LGBTQ community is also higher probably than heterosexual counterparts.
It's still a concern if
it is
donating.
A concern.
I understand why the groups take the money, but at the same time, we as a community also have to be we know that there's problems with us taking that money too. Do you know what I mean? Because there are certain health issues with the companies. If there is a lot of issues with publications taking tobacco ads, I would urge them to reconsider and look at other potential avenues of ads. And with the HIV/AIDS group, that was, I think, the most weird thing.
I don't really think there. I cannot think of the last time I encountered a tobacco ad or even a pronounced tobacco sponsorship. Yeah. Absolute Vodka is always there.
I can think of a few maybe THC-based sponsors that, were targeted at LGBTQ when I lived in California, and we were 19 steps ahead of everything that's happening here marijuana-wise, But I just think that, if we're thinking about why the LGBTQ and the queer community is higher in numbers, I don't think it has much to do with the marketing and targeting us as a community. I think it's we've all grown up with so much shit that it's like we took the 5 minutes to go have a cigarette when our family was bothering us, and we all like. I just remember being so uncomfortable as a queer teenager, and anytime I worked at Starbucks, I worked at the mall, I worked at a movie theater, I worked everywhere, and I just lived for that smoke break. I didn't even enjoy smoking, but it was like that safe 10 minutes that I had away from all the bullies that I worked with.
It's also a social thing too.
Yeah, you know,
other smokers like to be with other smokers.
Yeah, I mean, I'm from a really close area to New York City where things maybe just are introduced at a younger age. So it was like everyone in my world smoked cigarettes. You know, it was never not normal for me. But I will say that I don't remember seeing the brutality of the ads that I see about the vape ads. Like, I don't know how your nose didn't just grow and when you were speaking about no damages to vapes, you know, because
the thing is,
I mean, you see some of these young children in these, it's horrible. Their lungs have collapsed and they explode in their mouths, and it's like, it's kind of wild.
I'm always skeptical of those ads for several reasons. One, you know, every time the anti-tobacco ads and the anti-drug ads, they always severely exaggerate.
Well, all ads are severe, you know, but
Is there a Surgeon General warning on your vape?
No.
But what if
on the box
there
is?
That should be
there absolutely
right
is.
there.
There absolutely
is.
There is.
The warning is only Surgeon General warning. Nicotine is an addictive substance. It doesn't say what
on every single electronic cigarette in any version that's out. There is a Surgeon General warning on it. There is not one. There's not one natural. There's not a holistic. There's not an organic. Any vape that produces anything, whether it's B52 shots to tobacco-based vape, has a general surgeon warning on it because it can explode. That's
like
just a
the
fact.
word addictive is a very bad word.
Yeah.
You don't want to ingest in a cigarette.
Let me throw in another theory too for the smoking. And
I'm not talking theories. I'm talking facts, my friend. Okay.
I'm not talking about. I'm not talking about the safety of this thing.
Okay.
But I'm talking about the residual or legacy of the HIV/AIDS crisis in terms of LGBT people smoking.
Yeah.
We weren't, back in the day, we weren't supposed to live long enough to have goddamn lung cancer. Smoking was not, smoking is 20 miles away from our mind. We are thinking about HIV/AIDS first. So and accumulated over time, smoking become part of the culture that it's harder to shake on us than it is on our straight counterparts.
But there have been studies coming out about HIV and smoking and that combination with people who are living with HIV
really
because of
very
inflammatory.
For sure.
And it just lowers everything.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it just, and it just higher your chances. And not to mention it thins your hair. Just letting you know. Smoking really, really thins your hair.
Oh, my hair's just fine. Thank you, Frank. But that is a big LGBTQ story for today. There is no LGBTQ nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.